Okay, welcome back to class. And in the last class, we talked about factorizing of quadratic expressions. And I will go over one question again very quickly. And I want to highlight something because there are different types of quadratic equations. And one point of confusion for most students is the signs that should be in the brackets. So let me take this simple example. If you have x squared plus 4x, x squared minus 4x minus 12. Now you know that you need to have two expressions. How do we find which one is which? This first term should give us, when we multiply it, it will give us x squared. So square root of that, simple, right? The last term, when we multiply it, we should get a negative 12. Now, to us to get a negative 12, we could have 12 times 1, we could have 3 times 4, we could have 2 times 6. I think that's about it. Now, there's no way you're going to sum 12 and 1 to give you 4. 3 and 7 cannot give you 4, so the only factors we are left with is 2 and 6. Now you want to ask, how do I get the signs to put inside my brackets? This is also fairly simple because you know that you need a negative 4, so you need your bigger number to be a negative number. So this and plus this. So minus 6 plus 2 would give you minus 4. Simple. The answer is x minus 6 into x plus 2. It doesn't matter the order. You could have x plus 2 into x minus 6. Either of the two is still giving us the same thing. I believe we are still clear on this. Now there is a simple chart that we have, which you could try to use to remember what sign you should have. In a typical expression such as this, x squared minus 4x minus 12. Take this to be A. The first term is A, the second term is B, and the third term is C. The sign of the coefficients of each of them would determine the signs you would have in your bracket. And just for the sake of summary, I'm going to put this in a chart-like format. So you have your bracket signs. That means if you have a negative sign before the coefficient of the unknown, and you also have a positive sign in the last term, your bracket signs would be negative and negative. That means the two brackets would have negative signs. The second scenario, that's the first scenario. Your second scenario, where you have two positives, that means term B carries a positive sign and term C carries a positive sign. Then your brackets would both have positive signs. And then the scenario 3, where your term C is negative, then your two brackets would have different signs. One would be positive and one would be negative, just as it is in this our last example. By way of reassurance, I'm going to solve questions in the 3 categories so that you would see clearly what I'm trying to express to you. These are shortcuts for you to quickly know what to do, especially in your examination situations. Let's say, for instance, scenario 1, you have this to factorize x squared minus 4x plus 3. And in this case, like I said, the middle term is negative and your last term has a positive sign. So if you're trying to think of things in your bracket. X times x is what gives us x squared, which is very easy. So you have that. Then the last two, when you multiply them, you should get 3. And the easy numbers are the only factors of 3. Anyway, 3 is a prime number. It's 3 and 1. Now, what do I do to get a negative 4? We have already told you that when you have this combination in your coefficients, the two signs have to be negative. So it's a no-brainer. And if you decide to expand this, you find your eyebrow, face and mouth. X times x will give you x squared. 3 times minus 1 will give you plus 3. And then minus 3 times x will give you minus 3x. X into minus 1 will give you minus 1x. And if you pull together your like times, you have x squared minus 4x plus 3. Is that clear? I believe so. So let's look at the second scenario. And in this situation, we use this question: t squared plus 8t plus 16. And then we try to see. We have already said the two brackets should have a plus sign. So it makes your work so much easier and faster. T and t will give us t squared. Now we need to find what gives us 16. Again, 16 can be 2 times 8, it could be 4 times 4, it could be 16 times 1. But we're trying to arrive at 8. So 16 and 1 cannot give us 8. 2 and 8 cannot give us 8. So the likely thing that can give us 8 is 4 and 4. Which means I have 4 here and I have 4 here. No need to think far. Normal signs that would follow this type of quadratic expression is two positives. Just put in the sign and you can move on to the next question. This is particularly helpful when you are taking a speed test. Let's take the last example where we have x squared minus 10x minus 11. When you have a negative sign in the last term, then the signs in your bracket would be a mix. And in this case now, x and x to give us x squared. Now we are trying to arrive at what will give us the factors of 11. Simple, 11 and 1. What are the signs we need to put in? It has to be, one has to be positive and the other has to be negative. But remember, we are trying to arrive at a negative 10. A negative 10. So if I make this one, if my 1 is negative, negative 1 plus positive 11 cannot give me negative 10. So that tells me this has to be negative, while this has to be positive. The signs in my bracket, one must be negative and the other must be positive, and all I need to do is to determine which one should carry what sign. So I'm going to give you examples of questions in each category. So I see you next class.